welcome. Today I'm joined by the CEO of Hexatronic, Henrik Larsson, Lyon. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Let's start with the North American market. You see a mixed picture in that market. So let us start with the duct. What do you see in that market?
I think we see a market where there has been more price pressure and also a demand that is has not really taken off. Quite stable demand, I would say. And I think also when you look at that market, one of the big injections for the conduit and pipe market will be this government funding, BEAD program and so on. And I think we are prepared for that, also competitors. So I think when that starts to take off, we will see that market taking off.
Interesting. So let's move on to your fiber systems solution in the US market. There you see a quite strong demand. Why is that, and what is your expectations going forward?
I mean, we have a very small market share in that market, but growing. We have a very competitive system, cost competitive system, a flexible system, where we see that it's gradually taking off. More and more customers see this as, you know, bringing down their cost and also providing them flexibility for further build outs. So we are constantly gaining more customers, and that's what we see. Then it can be a little bit, you know, between quarters if we have a lot of deliveries to a larger customer and so on. But when we look at it over time, it's clearly growing at a decent pace, I would say, in a market that probably is quite stable. I would say that my guess is for the total fiber to the home market. So I think we are taking market share, but it's, you know, we have a very small position.
I see. Interesting. So let's move on to Europe, where you in many countries at least have a higher market share. That market seems to be in a worse shape, but what is your expectations for next year?
I think, and we expressed that in the report also, that we are, I mean, carefully optimistic about next year. We see some signs, you know, that operators or customers are starting to focus not only on connecting customers to the networks they have already built, but also starting to discuss to continue the build out in new areas and so on. And that's very positive. We also see that you know, operators take in the UK a lot of altnets, refinancing is starting to take place. So I would say we're carefully optimistic for next year, that after it will be 1.5 years, almost 2, it has been a slow market, but that it starts to grow again, I would say.
I see. Overall, I get the impression that your outlook for next year is somewhat more conservative compared to in last quarter. Is that right, or what's your view?
I mean, we don't provide guidance. I think if you look at the last report, we didn't really comment on next year. What we say in this report is that we are carefully, you know, optimistic. We see some optimistic signs for next year. So I think the main difference compared to, if I take the last quarter, is that then we expected to see the BEAD funding effect earlier in the US. Now when we look at it and we talk to a lot of experts on BEAD funding, it seems like it is delayed. We will probably start to see the effects for us mid 2025. So that, I would say, is a delay compared to what we said in the Q2. But for the other market, I think it's pretty in line with our expectations that we had after Q2.
I see. Nice clarification on that. And lastly, after 10 years as CEO, you are finally stepping down. What will that mean for Hexatronic?
I think it's an opportunity. You know, there will be a new CEO, someone new coming in with new ideas and new energy and so on. So I think it's good with change, and I've been here for 10 years. It's quite a long time in a listed environment, so I see that as very positive for Hexatronic.
Thank you very much, Henrik.
Thank you.